Welcome to the Rude Dude Cast. Rude Cast!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rude Dude Cast episode 173. I am Daniel Marone, joined by Big Mike Terry to my left and your left. How's it going today, Big Mike Terry? How you doing?
What up, Dr. Dan Marone and the podcast world? Just checking my levels there. I wanted to peak real early.
Oh yeah, you're peaking and squeaking.
I'm chilling. I'm actually in good spirits today. I was feeling down last couple of days. You know, got the fucking vibe all fucked up from.
He's gone. GG. Somebody go get Terry. I can tell you what he was going to say. He's going to say he's feeling down with the quarantine. But, all right, there you go. You're back. Finish. Resume. You glitched out for
resume.
a minute there.
You were frozen as well.
Frozen.
So I was, just feeling down. And, like Britney Spears shaving her head bald, I shaved my face because it made me feel better.
You look great.
I went for the Joe Exotic look. I got my sideburns going too. And for everybody listening at home, I got a nice sideburn on my left, but on my right sideburn is a little weak. So I'm going to take that thing that women use to color in their eyebrows with, an eyebrow pencil.
Oh, yeah.
and just start coloring in my beard. I think that's what Nate's doing and why he's been missing the cast. He's been too busy coloring in his beard.
Oh, God. Guys, Nate's beard, that thing is so much darker. It's so weird because, like, me and you both have ginger beards.
I'm getting buzz on my end. I don't know if you hear a buzz.
No.
From your microphone.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Hold on. Let me mute myself and check. Because sometimes my mic does buzz. No, I think it's fine on my end. Okay. As far as I can tell.
So so Nate's he's attending a wedding right now, so that's why he can't.
What?
Yeah, it's an internet wedding.
Oh, thank God! I was about to say.
He's like the only reason. He's like it's the first wedding I went to. I didn't wear a shirt. That's why you got to go to a wedding on the beach where you could just wear like no shoes and just flip flop around.
Yeah.
Dude, so fucking. What else has been going on with you other than
dude? So this weekend,
let me get my video gamer energy drink.
Okay,
We're sponsored now by Runa.
Runa? Okay.
I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it.
I went
either.
to a gas station today. It was like a third world country in there.
I'm not surprised.
It was crazy. This is gonna taste like dump.
I had a buddy that from Indiana tell me last night that he's like, dude, he's like, how are you? And I was like, good. He's like, the rest of the world looks at New York and thinks it's like the Division 2. And I was like, fuck, they do, don't they? The Division 2 is a game where I think New York basically it's basically right now the game.
Okay.
But so anyway,
it's about to get more divided in New York.
Yeah.
The actual division.
So anyway, are we doing video games? I guess we just talked about video games, so we might as well go into video games.
We're still doing the intro. Tell me what's happening.
I spent the day right before we got on the podcast. I was lucky enough to receive a code for this game that I was talking about last week on the cast called Valorant. And right before I started streaming, I was going to play a totally different game, and I see this push notification on my phone.
What were you going to play?
I got another game called Foregone, which is actually like kind of up your alley. It's like an old school, like kind of platformer type game. You know what I mean?
Sweet.
2D. And I was all set to play that. And I got the code for Valorant, and it popped up as soon as I hit start streaming. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like scrambling to install it and do all that shit. And I got to play one game before we started the podcast. And it's fucking pretty cool. It's really difficult. I'm terrible at it. And I'm going to keep playing it for sure, though, because it seems to do pretty good on Twitch in terms of, like, numbers for me because I have drops for the game. So if you watch my stream while I'm playing it, you might be lucky enough to get a code for it too.
How does that work?
So the way the game works is it's in closed beta right now, right? So you have to have a code to access the beta. The only way to get a code is to watch Twitch streamers that are playing the game, and you get piled into this pool of names, of Twitch usernames. You link your account, right? It's you have to link your Twitch account with Riot Games, with your Riot Games account, who's the publisher of the game. And you get randomly chosen if you're watching a Twitch streamer that's playing the game. So if you watch me, you might get a code. But anyway, so I've been doing that today. This weekend, I binged the shit out of The Handmaid's Tale.
Wait. Riot Games, they do League of Legends? That's their big game?
Yeah. League of Legends, the global phenomenon, the esports juggernaut, League of Legends. Yes, this is their new game. It's like the Valorant is way different than League, though. It's like a first-person shooter.
I feel like League of Legends is like, I just see commercials for it all the time.
Oh, it's huge. It's enormous. Yeah.
It's like League of Legends, and then what's the other one that everybody was playing with the cars that play soccer?
Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a buddy that plays that. I'm really bad at Rocket League.
Rocket League was fun. I played it for like a hot second.
Hey, it's fun, but then once you get into that point where you play it for like, I played it for maybe like a week with my friends, in total time. Not like a week total time, but like for a week worth of games. You know what I mean? Where I was just like playing it every night for like an hour.
Yo, the real question of how your week's going. Did you get that stimulus yet?
No, dude. No. I'm fucked.
I got it today.
Nice. Congrats.
Dude,
good for you.
I got it, and I was literally like Peter Pan and Hook. When like, I was like, I can pay, like when Rufio's like, you can fly, you can fight, and Pan's like, and he's like, you could crow. And so I got it. I was like, I can pay my bills, I can pay my rent, and I can. But I still got no unemployment.
Shit. AJ Capone in chat says he can't play Rocket League because it fucks with his vertigo, which he's being serious. He has vertigo. And it makes a lot of sense because it's a lot of like moving the camera around and going crazy. You know what I mean?
Dude, I think it's a getting old thing. AJC, I'm fucking 34, and I watching movies and shit. Like I watched The Matrix the other day, and there's a scene where like Neo is on like the fucking side of a building, and just the camera looking down on the ground. I've been starting to get like dizzy and vertigo. Oh yeah, like watching things that are like high up, and I never did before. But it doesn't happen to me when I'm on roller coasters, though. I love roller coasters. Yeah.
Dude, roller coasters. I went on a roller coaster that changed my life, and I'll never go on another roller coaster again. Like I used to love roller coasters, and then I went on the Superman ride at Six Flags Great Adventure, and goddamn, did it scare the shit out of me. Because what it is you're flying, like you're strapped
mean like
in.
Superman?
Yeah, like so you're strapped in like that over your shoulders, and you have a thing on your feet, but there's nothing in front of you. Like there's no cage or nothing. You're completely from your face to your toes. Like you're
exposed flying.
You're exposed flying, like just like Superman.
Oh, that's awesome.
And you would think, but it's actually terrifying.
I never went on that one. Yeah.
So that ruined roller coasters for me. I got off that ride, and I was just like, I'm never going on a fucking roller coaster again.
Dude, I gained a fear of roller coasters over years of not going. So, like, I went to Six Flags in, like, remember teen camp where we grew up? There was like a teen camp.
Of course.
And we went to Six Flags, and it was like 1996, or 7. And I went to Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey, and I rode the rides, and I had a great time. I didn't go on many, but I went on like a couple roller coasters, like Skull Mountain, Batman, a couple other things. But then I hadn't gone to an amusement park that had like crazy roller coasters for for years. Like other than Playland, where they filmed The Big and Mariah Carey's fantasy video.
Classic.
I would go on the Dragon coaster, which is like the Cyclone. If you've ever been to Coney Island, it's like an old wooden coaster.
Right.
But dude, I went to Universal Studios and Disney World like 7 years ago and broke my fear. You just have to go on them. You just haven't gone on in a while. So
That's true. That's true.
You build it up. You just got to go.
Dude,
roller coasters nowadays are amazing.
There was another thing that was pretty traumatizing that happened to me on a roller coaster too, but it didn't like make me stop
Is this
going
the
on
time
roller
that you
coasters.
didn't think you were like snapped in? All the
I
way
wasn't. So I was on. All right, I'll never forget it, dude. Six Flags, same park. Okay, Viper.
At least it wasn't. At least it wasn't a fucking action park.
The fucking Viper roller coaster, dude. I remember they built Viper when I was too short to get on the ride. And so for years, there was like 3 years in a row because I would go to my family would take me to Six Flags like maybe once or twice a year. So for
really, you would go that often?
Yeah. And so like maybe like twice a summer, you know what I mean? Beginning of summer and then once at the end. And so like, dude, I always wanted to go on Viper because it looked so cool. It was red, my favorite color.
That commercial, man, the commercial with the fucking
dude,
swirly.
Yeah, it's a swirly ride. There's like a cage around the whole fucking thing, or big red cage around the whole thing.
I don't think that ride exists anymore.
No, it got shut down. So I'm not sure if it got shut down because of what happened to me, but it got shut down shortly after that, so it probably happened to other people as well.
Well, what they do is I watch all those YouTube videos. After a while, they kind of send the rides to other parks and like trade rides.
Oh, okay.
So it could be that too, or get new rides.
I mean, it was at that point. It was probably about like 8 years old or something like that.
It's not that old,
you know.
It's not old.
So I was maybe by the time I really don't know how old I was, but I was probably like maybe 10. I would say 12. Maybe a little older, maybe 13. No, I was probably like 10, 12, between 10 and 12. And so I go on this ride. Dude, it starts going, right? And it's the kind of thing, it's a sit-down ride, and it has like a shoulder enclosure that
Or like a lap down thing?
Yes.
Pull down?
So, no. It's like a pull down, but it's above your shoulders. You know what I'm saying? It's like these metal bars with pads on them that lock down over your shoulders. Yeah. So, and this ride twists and turns and does all sorts of shit. So we're going, and it starts doing the classic thing where it's going up, right? But we're still close enough to where like we're by like the station where the line is, right? Where the control center is too. And we're going up, and dude, my fucking shoulder thing, my mom's shoulder thing, and I think like
the whole row.
Boom! It was my cart and like another cart. You know what I mean? Boom! Shoots right up. I have nothing holding me in, and I'm like, yo, hell, stop! Like, and then all the people, the passengers start screaming like, stop. So luckily they stopped it. But dude, if that had happened any later, like where we were too far to like yell at them, I would have been dead. You know what I mean? So, obviously they shut the ride down for the day after that. But, yeah, I never got to ride the Viper.
Oh.
I never got to ride the Viper.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah. So,
dude, I watch all those like ride through videos like on YouTube, like of the roller coasters and like shit, like where they have like, a first person
I watch
camera.
Those. Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, I need to ride this. The best ride through. I know that we're I don't know what topic we're on here, video games. Here,
roller coasters.
The best ride through I ever went to is the new Star Wars Rise of the Resistance ride.
Is that and you? Did you go to? The fuck new update? Did you go to
No,
Galaxy?
I didn't go there. No, not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah.
No, they just released a ride like a few months ago. So, dude, the whole ride, even the waiting online part of it, it's amazing.
Really? So the whole thing is an experience.
Yeah. You should watch it. Watch it.
I will. I think that's good that like a lot you see that with a lot of new things in like amusement parks is that they're making
like when you're waiting online,
they're making
the
ride part of the experience because dude, nothing sucks more than waiting on a line for a ride, you know?
Dude, we went on the new King Kong ride. The line was better than the ride. The ride sucked.
Hey man, you know.
It was also the day the Switch came out and somebody in front of us had a Switch.
Oh man.
So we watched this like Asian couple who didn't speak English play Zelda in front of us, or whatever the first Switch game was. I think it was.
It was a launch game.
And we were just like, "Do you mind if we watch?" And we were on this line. It was the only line that was over 25 minutes long. Was for the brand new King Kong ride. It was a 2.5 hour line.
Yeah,
we waited on it and just watched these people play Zelda the whole time.
Nice.
And and that's my segue into video games. So continue.
Very good. Oh well, I already covered all the video game stuff before we started talking about roller coasters. I got nothing else. But Endmiser, welcome to the chat.
I beat a video game this week.
What'd you do?
What'd you beat? I beat Hook for Super Nintendo. A game that I had never, ever beat. It was so hard. It took me 5 hours, which isn't that long when it comes to video games. But it's like a crazy platformer where you can fly, and there was a lot going on. And as a child, I never beat it.
Nice.
But excuse me, I'm just fucking all gas and tax today. But I beat it, and I had like 19 lives, so that's how I did it. And I was proud of myself because I never beat it as a kid.
Yes, man. AJ Capone says, you know what is scary? Does water slides, those water slides that go straight down. No, thank you. Oh, no. I don't fuck with water parks because I don't get wet most of the time.
I like water parks,
wet.
but as somebody who's chubby and hairy, they're really against me. Especially if you have a hairy back, you just got to make sure you're prepared. And then you get clipped and stuck. It's just not fun.
Yeah.
And like, you know, as a 34-year-old man, I don't belong in a water park.
I don't either. I'm 32. I don't belong there either.
Yeah, I belong at the beach underneath the shade of like an umbrella.
Yes.
With like a land shark in my hand.
There you go. So, that's all I have for video games this week. What about TV shows, man? All right, what have you been watching anything good?
All right, TV news. I got an email and I totally forgot. One of my favorite shows is back. My Wednesdays, I know people probably listen to this on delay or watching it on YouTube the next day, but get on board because fucking What We Do in the Shadows is back. And that fucking show is so good.
What is the premise for this? Because you told me that it was back, but I had never heard of it before.
Okay, so What We Do in the Shadows was a movie that was Taika Waititi's first movie.
Who's the guy who directed?
Taika Waititi. He's the guy who did Thor Ragnarok. He also
that movie fucking ruled.
He did Black Panther, I think.
And Miser in chat just said there was an ad for that on my stream.
Really?
Yeah. Nice. Topical.
So basically it's his first movie. It was done in New Zealand. It's a very independent film. It's fucking hilarious. It's a dark comedy. And basically it's like a mockumentary, kind of like Spinal Tap. So fake documentary. It's about a bunch of vampires that live in a house together, like the real world.
Okay.
And but they're all vampire tropes. So like one of them is like sparkly and twinkly, like Twilight. One of them looks like Nosferatu. One of them looks like the Lost Boys vampires. And it's just all about them living together and this like having to kill people and looking for virgins. It's really funny. Really funny.
Nice.
So then, and it's got the guys from Flight of the Conchords in it also.
Oh, yeah. I used to watch that show all the time, dude.
Dude, it's really funny, the movie. So fast forward then to like last year. This movie came out in like 2015 or 16. So 19, the show comes out on FX. And it's the same director, Taika Waititi, and some of the same characters. Or some of the same characters are like in it, but they're not main characters. They have 4 new main characters, but same premise, like 4 vampires living in a house. But this time it's not in New Zealand, it's in Staten Island. And like the whole premise is that they're there to take over the world, and New York was supposed to be like where they take over the world. It's really funny. There was an episode last year that had fucking every vampire ever from like modern movies in it, like act or 2. So Wesley Snipes was there as Blade.
What the fuck?
Like, dude, it's ridiculous.
I'd watch the shit out of that.
The show is really funny. And then like it ended and I was like, okay, whatever. Like it was about a year ago. And literally like 2 days ago, I got an email and then I got like an ad. I was like, what the fuck?
You know,
like,
they send you an email that there's a new season out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's awesome. Well, Miser,
like the email was like through like some movie website or some shit.
Miser says, I think is it Taika Waititi is a god. He just did Jojo Rabbit, wrote the screenplay, directed and played Hitler, and he's also the voice of the IG droid in The Mandalorian. That's crazy. Yes. I gotta look this guy up.
Taika Waititi is fucking awesome. We did a tour in Canada a few years ago, and we were playing somewhere near Toronto, like in some fucking like little suburban town. And we played with this band called Dad Jokes, and they were from New Zealand on tour. And What We Do in the Shadows had just come out, and the guy was like, "You know that movie?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "That's my best friend, the director, Taika Waititi." He's like, "He's gonna be famous one day." I'm like, "All right." Like it was like fucking like a little rinky-dink documentary movie. Like it didn't seem like anything. And then like his next movie after that was fucking Thor.
Man.
Dude, it's crazy though.
Hey, that's awesome.
Very smart guy.
He blew up.
So that show's coming back. My Wednesdays are stacked. I got Survivor on CBS.
Yeah, Wednesdays are stacked.
I got AEW, which has been great. Fucking, oh my goodness. I don't know. I got all sorts of things.
Nice. I was saying earlier, but I didn't want to go into it too much because I knew we were going to talk about TV later, but this weekend spent the weekend catching up. It's not a new show. I mean, it's
Watchmen. Yeah, I know.
Soon, one day, dude. I promise one day I will.
Every week I'm going to annoy you until you watch this fucking show.
Not the Watchmen.
We're going to be in quarantine for a bit, my friend. A bit.
I'll get to it before quarantine's over. I spent the weekend. I binged this shit in 2 days.
Oh, I know what you're about to say.
13 episodes. The Handmaid's Tale season 3. I had watched season 1 and season 2 like a year and a half ago.
Listen. You can't say I binged something in 2 days. That's a big feat these days. Listen, you have to binge something in 1 day.
You're right.
If you finish it in a day, then that's just homeostasis. If it takes you 2 days to finish something, that means you're spreading it out.
All right, you're right. You're right. You're right.
Unless you watch it on 2 times speed, but you finish it in a couple hours.
I did it in a way where I watched like 3 episodes, or no, it was more than 3. I watched like 4 episodes on day 1, and then I watched like 9 episodes on day 2. So day 2 was a heavy day. But yeah. So The Handmaid's Tale, holy shit. The reason why I didn't watch season 3 when it was live is because it's on Hulu, and I was kind of waiting for the season to be over to like cash in my Hulu free trial and then just binge it, you know what I mean? And then I just never did it. And so I finally did it today, and holy shit. It's just so I forgot because I hadn't seen it in like a year and a half or 2 years, like how fucking good The Handmaid's Tale is.
How many seasons do I got to watch to get through?
3. So it is like, it's extremely dark because
just give the premise for anybody who might not know. I'm sure everybody does. But
Handmaid's Tale is basically in the, I'm guessing not too far future, women start losing the ability to become fertile, right? So to become pregnant, right? Or it's not that they start losing it, but many of them do, and it becomes rarer and rarer and rarer and rarer, right? So maybe like, I don't know, I wouldn't even know what kind of statistic to put out there, but I would say maybe like, 1 to 10 out of every 100, maybe like 10 out of every 100 women can get pregnant, you know what I mean? And so as a result of this, the continuation of the human species becomes a concern, right?
Right.
So, and also simultaneously, the American government falls to what becomes the new government known as Gilead, where they basically wrangled up all the women and tested and found out who can get pregnant and who can't, and forced the ones who could to become what is called handmaids, hence the name, The Handmaid's Tale. It's a tale about handmaids. And the way that it is that basically the way households are structured is there's the man who is a commander, right? And then he has his wife who presumably can't get pregnant. And then they have what is called a Martha, who's basically like they cook and clean and do all that shit. And then there's the handmaid who also cooks and cleans and stuff like that, but also once per month has to perform what is called a ritual with the commander where he tries to obviously impregnate her. And it's awful. It is rape, you know what I mean? Basically, the fucking actual wife holds down the handmaid and they have to do this weird shit, and it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's one of the few shows that's like a dystopian future that is actually worse off than our world at the present moment. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot. Like, Walking Dead is obviously a show that's way worse than their world is way worse than our world. The Handmaid's Tale is way worse than our world. It's man.
I mean, our world's about to be saved by Vince McMahon.
Supposedly. We'll see. But, essentially what it is at the beginning of the show, your main character, June, is ripped away from her family to go get impregnated by a commander. They take her daughter away from her, send her daughter off to some other family in Gilead. So what the show is about is kind of her trying to reunite with her daughter and escape the fuck out of Gilead to Canada, where her actual husband is. And, in Canada, there's, as the series goes on, you see more and more escapees, and they have refugee centers in Canada, so it's a common thing where people are trying to escape out of Gilead. Sure. It's kind of like if you could imagine like North Korea, people trying to escape out of North Korea. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of a government, basically. Emma just says, cool, that's a shame they won't show it in Germany. Understand how the painting. Oh, you guys are talking about Joe.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So The Handmaid's Tale in the third season, and let me just say that the acting on this show, Terry and longtime listeners of the Rude Dude Cast will know how I gush over The Leftovers, and also recently.
Oh, dude, I heard somebody covering the theme song to season 2 today.
Of The Leftovers? Oh, man.
Yeah, on a podcast, actually.
Let the miracle be,
funny.
dude. Or let the mystery be.
Yeah.
This show, The Handmaid's Tale, I remember back when The Leftovers was in its third season, The Handmaid's Tale swooped in and stole all the Emmys from The Leftovers, and I was so pissed. They were both nominated for all the same awards, and The Handmaid's Tale cleaned up and won them all, except for one. But the one that The Leftovers won was won by Ann Dowd, who played Patty Levins on The Leftovers, who is also on The Handmaid's Tale.
Her name's Endowed?
Anne.
Like big. Oh, it's Endowed. Like
Ann Dowd is the actress's name. She's on both shows, The Leftovers and The Handmaid's Tale, and dude, on the fucking Handmaid's Tale, she is brutal. Like she's keeps all the handmaids in check, and by in check I mean like if you get pregnant and have a miscarriage or something, she might fucking cut your ear off. You know what I mean? Or yeah, it's like that kind of.
I gotta watch the show.
Yeah, it's like that.
I need a binge show, like another show to watch.
Yeah, it's like that kind of a society. It's really fucking horrible. So I can't recommend it enough. It's really heavy stuff. It's really dark, but the acting and the writing is so good. I will say that there is one thing in the series that kind of holds it back more and more each season, and it's just like you could maybe say that it's a spoiler, but it's not a spoiler. And it's just that it's really obvious that the main character isn't going to try to fucking escape this place until she has her daughter with her, right? And so that is something that holds the series back, because there are moments where she may or may not have an opportunity to leave, and you know she's not going to go because she doesn't have her daughter with her. And so to me, it seems like it was kind of a mistake for her to make the declaration as a character that says, I'm not leaving this place, very early on in the series, so it's like a minor spoiler, but it's something you know pretty much for the whole duration.
Okay.
That you know she's not going anywhere till she gets her daughter, and yet it's like in The Walking Dead when you see Daryl in a situation where he's about to die. You know he's not going to die because right now he's the fucking show. And just like before him, it was Rick. You knew Rick was never going to die because he's the main character. You know what I mean?
I could do it. I got a nice like analogy for that too. It's a current television as well. A show, anything that's like a prequel. So like Better Call Saul is murdering it right now. It's in its like 4th or 5th season, whatever it is. But there's somehow they make you like they build this suspense still for a character that you know is not going to die,
right?
Because they're in future seasons and of it's a prequel, so like they exist later on.
Exactly. Yeah.
But somehow with good storytelling and directing, you could still build that suspense. And I think it sounds like it's very similar with what you're saying to The Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Where it's like, even though you know she ain't leaving, there's still like that. They do a good enough job to know that like she's trying to leave or something like
right. That. Like in the second season, I felt that way where I was like, oh man, is she actually going to just fucking leave her daughter? You know what I mean? And then I was like, maybe they'll find a way to get her later or something like that. And then in the third season, I just kind of knew already. I was like, if there's a situation that comes where she has a chance to leave, she's gonna fucking say no. You know what I mean? But so that's the only negative thing I can say about the show. Other than that, it's fucking elite television, dude. Just as good as something like Westworld. Segue. Mike Terry, what did you think of Westworld this week?
I thought Westworld this week's episode, Genre, was the title of the episode. This episode was full-on action movie. I thought it was very interesting how it was shot, all the different the character Caleb, played by Aaron Paul, a.k.a. Jesse Pinkman. He gets drugged with a drug called Genre, which basically makes you live like a horror movie in your mind. Or not a horror movie, makes you live a bunch of different movies in your mind. Kind of like, they talk about it, I think, on the after show. It's kind of like when Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory eats the gum, and the gum has breakfast, lunch, and dinner and dessert. It's kind of like that. It's like a drug that makes you experience a film noir, romance movie, action movie, horror movie. Right. I thought it was kind of corny at first, but it worked really well with the story. I think that this show is just like next level world building. Like
yes.
keeps getting bigger and bigger. That I don't know where they're gonna go. And at the start of this season, all the reports were that the show was going to be dumbed down because season 2 was too like confusing in the storytelling and all this sort of stuff. And I think they did a really good job so far. The season's almost over already. I think they did a really good job.
2 episodes left or 3?
3, yeah. I think they did a really good job having a more straightforward story, but still not being like dumb in the writing. The writing is really smart.
Fair point.
And especially, it's HBO. Like I don't know how they fucking get the money for any of this stuff. I know we talked about this last week.
Yeah, they don't fuck around, dude.
They don't have that many subscribers that they can get that much money.
Think so?
But the show is fucking phenomenal. It's smart. I don't know what's going on half the time. Like what I think I know is going on, and then they just kind of flip it on its head.
Right.
I think it's going to come a little bit more inward soon. I think it's going to head back more towards like the park in Westworld when it comes to like story-wise, because I know they're like way out of the park and it's like so far past of where they were. But I think story-wise, it needs to go back to like something with Ford or something with the original park to tie everything in a little bit more.
Yeah, I think we'll get back to that for sure. I don't know when, because you don't know. What did they say? Did they say they want this to run like 5 seasons or something like that?
5 seasons or so. And I remember, they were talking about how it was going to be really hard to get out of the parks.
Yes, and it took them a long time, dude.
Right. But I mean, not that long. We're only in the 3rd season. So like,
true. I guess it seems like a long time because there's like 2 years in between each season. But
like the storytelling wise, like everyone's like, how are you going to get like, what are you going to do outside of the parks? Or are they going to go to different parks? Or are they in a park right now? Are they even actually out of the park?
Yeah.
There's tons of theories that this is future world, but not even really the actual world.
There's so many theories. Sorry, I forgot to tweet out that the podcast was live, so I just went to.
I posted on the Facebooks.
Oh, good. Oh, I didn't see.
I just think it's just really smart. I think it's very entertaining, and if you get past the confusion of it all and in the beginning and just kind of power through, it's a really rewarding show. For sure. Because it creates mysteries and unravels things pretty nicely.
Absolutely. As far as this episode is concerned, I think from what I've heard, from what I've been the vibe of like I've read a bunch of different reviews and tweets and things like that, and people seem to be split on the genre thing. Like I've heard people that love it, I've heard people that hate it. I like the concept of it, right? But I just felt like it was not the right scenario because what it did for Westworld was it's like world building. You know what I mean? It shows you like, oh, these are the kind of drugs that people take in the future. You know what I mean? It's a digital fucking drug. They fucking literally stick a chip into your neck and then you have this trip and shit like that. And I think that's really cool. You know what I mean? That level of world building is cool because it just adds to the depth of what they've established.
Well, yeah, it also shows you that like there's a lot of other things that could be happening that we just don't know.
We don't know about. Like we've seen rockets all over the place and stuff.
Yeah.
The one issue that I took with the genre thing was that I just felt like it wasn't really the time or place to do something like that because of all the other shit that was happening in that episode. I felt like it took away from other things, like the whole thing where she kind of like Dolores let the cat out of the bag to like every human on planet Earth to let them know that the ball god, Rumbad the ball god, what is it actually called, Terry? Rahambad the ball god was in control of their actual lives. You know what I mean? Like that big reveal I felt like was dampened by what motherfucking Aaron Paul was going through in his weird ass fucking genre trip. Like that moment where they walked outside that building and everyone was in shambles fighting with each other. It was the beginnings of an uprising, right?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why is he still following her?
Because she showed him like what his outcome was going to be if he just continued on his life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And
he was like, figure that out. Like, why is he still there?
Yeah. He's under her spell, man. That's what it is.
Also, I figured it out. The synth song. Why I was so because I didn't know what the synth song was from. Mm-hmm. When they get to the beach and they kill that fucking dude. They kill the dude from Insight. The song the song was from The Shining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I watched a video that was like explaining each segment of the trip, and then the other thing about the other thing about the whole genre trip was like, okay, in the beginning it was very clear what was what. It's like, okay, now he's going through a noir thing where it's black and white screen.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
I wasn't sure. I knew film noir, and then I knew action movie. The other
yeah,
ones, I
Flight of the Valkyrie, the fucking Daniel Bryan's theme song. It's like, it's very clear. But then after that, I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, is this... There wasn't enough distinction between, like, is this happening because of the genre trip, or is this just the natural score of music of the show? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, is the trip over? Is he still tripping his ass off, or is it just the regular music? I didn't know. You know what I mean? My brain is too small. So... I felt like, I won't say that the genre thing fell flat. I just felt like there could have been a different opportunity for them to present it better.
I also think it was one of those things that somebody had the idea and they were like, how can we shoehorn this in?
Right. And it was all, you know, like, hey, let's just squeeze it in here. You know what I mean? But I mean, they obviously... Well, go ahead.
The cool idea, did it really add to the story?
No.
I mean,
it wasn't necessary. Like, I felt like it was reductive to the main story.
They were probably figuring, like, which episode can we do this in? And
yes.
This was the episode.
But then, dude, they did a lot of fucking work on it. Like, that action sequence, that was a high-budget scenario. It's not like, it wasn't, like, thought out. You know what I mean? There was a lot of work that went into the whole thing. But I think in the writing room, when they planned to do it, you're probably right. They were like, hey, let's do it now. I think it would have been cool if they did it in the first episode.
Yeah, you know, I mean that would have been maybe too much for the first episode. The first episode was already a lot to kind of digest.
True. True.
You know, with that. So at the end of the episode, we get Dolores and Caleb getting into the plane, and like kind of like a they don't even know, you know, because we get to reveal that like Dolores gets shot and Caleb's like, what the fuck, she didn't die.
Yeah.
But it's like unspoken. So like we don't really know.
Yeah.
But like all the things that she's doing, like he has to start figuring out like how come she can do all these things. Mm-hmm. What are we thinking is his deal? Because he keeps saying that like he's like, there's something up with me also. Yeah,
well, so in that moment where the guy from Insight was kind of on the beach and stuff like that, he said something to, what's his name, Caleb. And there was that moment where Caleb was like, what did you just say to me? You know what I mean? Or he says like, what did you call me? He's like, and then he turned to Dolores and he's like, what did he call me? You know what I mean? It was something like that. I didn't catch it because it happened really fast.
Was it like a deja vu moment?
Yeah, it was like something like that where you weren't sure if it was something he was experiencing internally because of the genre or because it was something that actually happened.
He's also got that thing in his mouth, the mouth controller.
Yeah, didn't Dolores take that out though?
Oh, maybe he did.
I think she took it out.
But I think I personally think that he is one of the first like souls kept in human body form, or he's like half host, half human,
right?
Some sort of hybrid that nobody else has figured out. You know, like it was like, whereas like they're trying to get like, you know, James Delos when he was in the little glass prison last season. Yeah, he was trying to like transfer his soul into a host. I think he's got some form of that going on, and like it's clear that Caleb is the big reveal for the season.
Yeah,
like at the end of the season, whatever is going on with him is the big reveal.
Definitely, it's going to be a big one. But there's also what the Man in Black said. Do you remember? He referenced, and I think this is where we're gonna find out about like if it's a simulation or something else, right? The Man in Black mentioned something about when he was talking to Charlotte Hale before she kind of like pulled the rug out from under him and took him into the fucking insane asylum. They were having a conversation. He referenced something about something that was happening, a project that was they were working on in some sector of the parks. Like he was just like, oh, that thing in sector T16. I think he said T16 or something like T something.
Yeah.
What if what's happening in the outside world is sector T16? You know what I mean? And like I've had the theory of whether it's a simulation or whatever it is going to be mirror world, right? Where it's going to be like every human, every person that you see is a copy of a person that's in the real planet Earth. And I think that what we're seeing right now isn't the real planet Earth, but it is mirror world that we're in,
which is what the whole idea of the Forge was, or the Forge, or
the Forge.
That's what T16 is.
Right. Oh,
I think that's what it is. Like the Great Valley Beyond.
Yes.
Whatever, Host Heaven, all that shit.
Okay.
Because basically everybody who was going into Westworld was being copied, right? So like that information was then taken to Rumbad, the ball god, and all that.
Right.
So basically, they had all this for the plan of selling people the idea of living forever, I think.
Right.
And I think as much as they don't want the comparison, probably because people are making it already, it's very much like Matrix-like. Like the Matrix, we're tapped into the Matrix through the fucking thing in the back of our head. So that we see this world in front of us, but it's not really the real world. It's a mirror world. And I think what we're gonna get is some sort of hybrid of like dystopian, like shit's fucked in 2058, but there's a mirror world where people are trying to almost like taking your files and putting it in a hard drive and transferring it somewhere. They're trying to transfer like everything that they like about the world into this new world. Maybe,
yeah.
These are all just batshit crazy theories.
Well, the one thing that I keep thinking about is the ball god. How does it determine everyone's life path? If it, you know what I mean? If it's all it has is data, right? They have to be controlling them with some other means. And one thing the one way they could be controlling everyone is if everyone is a host. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, there's there's that. There's also like the idea is that if it knows how everything's going to end, then this must be the past or the future, and these are like predetermined loops because it already happened. Right. Exactly. And this is a big simulation.
The simulation thing.
And it's a big simulation of like, just multiple simulations happening at the same time kind of thing. Right. Exactly. I don't know. We could be just totally overthinking it.
We could be everyone could be off. I hope that it's some
simpler storytelling coming up. If once we're
I'm good. I'm good to talk about it. Whatever.
The Big Show on Netflix.
How is that, man?
A little less brain drain than Westworld. I could talk about Westworld theories with you for 2 hours.
So we could do a whole freaking week of podcasts on that. But
I crushed the Big Show. It's the first sitcom I've watched in a long time. Family sitcom. It stars the Big Show, his wife and 3 daughters, and Jaleel White, a.k.a. Steve Urkel. It is basically, what it is about a retired Big Show who lives in Florida with his wife and 2 kids. His other kid, who lives in Minnesota with his first wife, moves to Florida to be closer with her dad now that her dad is retired. And her mom is like going to like fucking Timbuktu or something, and she doesn't want to live there. So it's all about her moving in with her dad, the Big Show, and her sisters that she's never lived with. It is cheesy Nickelodeon, Disney, saccharine sitcom, but not horrible. It was watchable. Better than Fuller House.
Okay.
There was not that many. There's a lot of wrestling references, but no like real wrestling anything until halfway through the season. We get a couple cameos.
Okay.
One by Mark Henry. Who
all right, that makes sense.
He needs his own show because he is way funnier than the Big Show.
I bet.
And then we get some wrestling shit like later on because he decides he wants to go back to WWE. And then also they never once call it wrestling. Anytime they're talking about wrestling, it's WWE.
All right.
It's like, whenever you go back to WWE or like whenever you WWE again instead of wrestling again. Or he's like, when I was in the WWE instead of like when I was wrestling,
Yeah. They want to make it they want to broaden the appeal and so make people forget that they're talking about wrestling.
I guess so. I don't know. It wasn't horrible. I finished it in a day. It's 22 episodes. It's 22 minutes, eight episodes.
The whole thing is 22 minutes. I'll watch it.
Yeah. I think it's 7 episodes at 22 minutes.
Okay. That's not bad.
Yeah. Some other, there's an episode where they go on a cruise and Mark Henry, the Big Show, Mark Henry, Rikishi, and Mick Foley are on the cruise.
Okay.
Rikishi has one line and then, I don't know. It's okay. It wasn't offensive. I didn't feel stupid watching it.
Okay.
It was very light background stuff while I was doing work on the computer. So it wasn't like, you don't have to pay attention to it.
Right. Yeah. You just like turn your brain off. Have they announced?
So wait.
Okay.
Did they announce what?
A second season.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I feel like anything that's airing now is going to get a second season because everybody's home watching shit.
True.
So it's like,
True.
so everything has a better chance at a second life. I kind of mentioned it before when we were talking about Handmaid's Tale, I think, but Better Call Saul.
Oh, yeah.
This week's episode was fucking great. There's only one more left. This season has been the best season. The show has only been getting better. And it's worth noting is last week's episode was rated a 9.8 on IMDb.
Jeez.
Which only 4 episodes of Breaking Bad were rated that high by viewers.
Wow.
Television rating wise, I don't think Better Call Saul is doing anywhere near as good as Breaking Bad did.
No.
But Breaking Bad did really well, like towards the end of its run.
Yes.
Now, I know a lot of people just don't care about this show because they're like, I don't need to see a spinoff, or the first season started really slow. It's a slow burn, but it's so worth it now. And bringing in all the other characters from Breaking Bad universe, and there being more action in the last couple episodes. I think I might like it better than Breaking Bad.
Really?
For different reasons. I just think it's just the way it's telling its story is different than other TV shows. Like I haven't seen too many TV shows like this. Let
me ask you this: as a person who's never watched Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, what is obviously the proper thing to do first is watch Breaking Bad, even though it's a sequel to the prequel that is Better Call Saul. What do you think is the best order to watch these things in? Is it Breaking Bad, El Camino, Better Call Saul, or does it not matter?
I mean, you can't do Better Call Saul because it's not over yet. So
okay, so you got to watch El Camino before Better Call Saul.
No, you would do Better Call Saul, then Breaking Bad, and not watch El Camino.
You're in favor of watching Better Call Saul first.
Yeah, because it's slower. So if you were watching something like Breaking Bad, which is like gonzo crazy, and then jump into Better Call Saul, it would be way too slow.
But all right, so
Better Call Saul is the slow burn that starts to rev up. However, Better Call Saul storytelling, every season, the first episode has a black and white scene that is in the future after Breaking Bad.
Okay.
After. And basically the character of Jimmy, who's the main character, Saul, he's in witness protection. And he's basically this guy who's bald with a beard working at a Cinnabon. He's in like the middle of nowhere, North Dakota.
Okay.
And it's in black and white. And then they tell this story of what his life is like now. And then it starts at the beginning. And then it goes. Then the last episode of every season, it starts off with black and white again and ends in black and white again.
Oh.
And they've done that for every season so far.
That's pretty cool.
Slowly telling the story of the now, the whatever.
That's pretty cool.
After Breaking Bad. It's really cool. And then also the intro to the show changes each week. And it started off in black and white, and it's getting more colors.
That's an AMC thing that I think they want with all their shows. Because I noticed Fear the Walking Dead does that
every week?
Big time. Every week, it's a little hint about what's going to be happening in the episode.
Yeah, so they've been doing that. My favorite thing of any TV show that does that is Ozark.
Yeah, they do that too?
No, before every episode, they have like an opening scene, and then instead of showing like an intro, since it's Netflix, the screen goes black, and then there's 4 pictures pop up on the screen, almost like you ever drink a Lone Star beer?
Yes.
They have puzzles underneath the cap that are like picture puzzles.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's a puzzle of what's going to happen in the episode.
Gotcha. That's cool.
So I think if you were to do it, I would do Breaking Bad. I would do Better Call Saul first, and then Breaking Bad. If you wanted to do it that way,
I would think you would do. Well, because like
the thing is though, so there are characters from Breaking Bad that are on Better Call Saul a lot more in Better Call Saul than they are on Breaking Bad, or they're already dead. They're already dead in Breaking Bad, or they're minor characters that when they show up on Better Call Saul after you've seen Breaking Bad, you're like, oh fuck, it's that dude. Or like it's that dude's cousin, you know. So like when you're watching Better Call Saul, and they're like, oh, this is Hector Salamanca's cousin, and you're like, oh, I know that name. That's this guy. And the main villain in Breaking Bad, or one of the main villains, this character who like the Gus Fring basically is his name. He doesn't really get revealed until way later on in Breaking Bad.
Okay.
Whereas in Better Call Saul, he's very much a more major character from the beginning, and it's kind of like the beginning of his criminal operation.
Okay, that's cool.
So it's like looking at the whole universe from a different side. You know,
Hey, that's
basically
awesome.
like Fear of the Walking Dead, but like way better.
Yeah, Fear of the Walking Dead is tragic, dude. That show sucks.
Way better and way more connected.
You know
way more
what?
connected.
You know what? Fucked up, and I always
like
Oh, go
what's
ahead.
it called? Walter White's like brother-in-law, like
Yeah.
was in a whole episode this season, and he's a major character. So when you show up, he's like, "Oh fuck," and he's dead in Breaking Bad.
What
So
I
it's
always
like-
what I always forget, dude, is that when you bring up Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead having spin-offs, they're all connected. I forgot that 2 years ago, or was it 2 or 3 years ago, AMC came out at Comic-Con and said and confirmed that The Walking Dead and Breaking Bad officially take place in the same universe. I always forget that, and I think it's nuts. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because they have the same car and everything too, right? The car.
Yeah, well, what it is the blue meth. There's been
right.
a few Breaking Bad references in The Walking Dead. There was Merle had the blue meth back in season 1, and I think there was
Wait, you never saw Breaking Bad?
Never, dude.
You used
I
to
don't-
watch it.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to watch Breaking Bad.
I watched
for
that
sure.
before Watchmen.
Wow, really?
Well,
I
no,
will-
Watchmen's one season.
I will watch Breaking Bad for sure. My only issue that has kept me from binging Breaking Bad was that I saw the final episode and I know how it ends. You know?
Yeah, but that's not the worst.
No, I mean it's just it's just that's a big it'll be like watching The Sopranos final episode and then watching the whole thing.
No, that would not stop me from what. Maybe
Sopranos
it was
is so good. I want to rewatch.
bad. It's for free right now. HBO is doing like 3 of their shows for free. They're
The
showing
Wire,
all the
The
Sopranos, The
Sopranos.
Wire, and I don't know another one. I forgot what the other one is.
AJ Capone says, El Camino sucked, but I like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. I miss Wilford. Walt, I loved him at first, hated him at the end. Walter White sounds like he's a real complex character. I know a little bit about him, you know what I mean? I know he had cancer, but he was
You can
really
watch.
just...
You could write an essay about it.
Yeah.
But I think Saul Goodman is a more complex character than Walter White.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Interesting. All right.
I hated El Camino. It was fucking terrible. I saw it in the movie
Really?
theater.
I've
It was
heard
horrible.
nothing but bad shit about it.
There's some people who like it.
I hope the same doesn't happen to the Rick Grimes movies. You know, that scares me.
Oh, those are going to be terrible.
I don't know, man.
Other TV, I got nothing really.
I got nothing. Walking Dead finale got delayed, so there's no Walking Dead to talk about. That's it.
Wrestling,
Pro wrestling.
dude. There's so much news.
Oh yeah. You can start if you want. I just need you to stall for 30 seconds while I get a water.
All right. Let's see here. Did anybody watch Dark Side of the Ring? Dark Side of the Ring is the best. So if you're into pro wrestling, Dark Side of the Ring is on Vice and Viceland. It's a true crime show about like fucked up shit in wrestling. But I have tons of people in my life who don't like wrestling, but they like this show. It's the number 1 watch thing on Vice. I would totally watch it. It's really, really good. Last night's episode was about Jimmy Snuka and the death of his girlfriend.
Are you talking about Dark Side of the Ring?
I'm talking Dark Side of the Ring just because it's still TV.
Yeah, of course.
And wrestling.
Perfect
it's really,
segue.
Really good. It's a great show, especially if you're into all those like investigation ID shows, like anything that's like true crime, like weekly, episodic, like every week there's a different story, and you're into murder and crime and shit like that. It's told, and if you're a wrestling fan, it's just even. Are you eating? the
Yeah,
show?
I got hungry, dude.
So we're very professional over here.
Oh, yeah.
As you can tell. I mean, I'm wearing jeans today. This is the third day in the last month that I put on real pants. So you can't see them, but I got them on.
I don't got pants on, dude. You can't even see my shorts, dude.
You got shoes on though.
I got shoes and underpants on.
You're wearing shoes in your house. Crazy.
I like shoes, dude.
You're crazy.
I feel when I'm barefoot, I feel like an animal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear you. But it's a really good crime show, and it's a nice segue into wrestling. So wrestling has some crazy fucking news right now.
Yes, it does.
Let's see. Where I lost it all. A whole list. Here we go. So, beyond Vince McMahon being hired by Donald Trump to lead this organization of getting business back in order, and the fucking crazy story of fucking WWE not being an essential business like everybody else in Florida, and then being told they were allowed to operate because they were considered essential. And then the next day, Linda McMahon donating $18 million to the state of Florida. 18.5 million, which is totally just a bribe and a thank you for being allowed to. And everybody forgets that Linda McMahon is on Donald Trump's head. She is the head of Small Business Administration.
Yep.
And he's good friends with Vince McMahon. So if you're friends with the president, you can still operate your business. And pro wrestling is considered essential. I don't know why it's essential, especially when it's not good. It's not AEW good. It's just happening. So in that news of basically WWE buying their way into being allowed to operate, what's up?
What does this mean for AEW?
They're taped 2 months in advance, so they're really not doing anything.
When they run out of shit in June, what happens? Can they? Because now
they can guerrilla tape things again. But like the difference is WWE is doing like major operations. They're having like
they're doing it live because it's crazy.
Yeah, they were gonna film stuff and they didn't
because of their contracts with USA and Fox, right? So
well, that's what they said,
right? But from what was said or what was reported by like these wrestling news and media outlets are that. In their contracts, WWE was slated to do a big batch of tapings like AEW, but then at the last second they changed back to doing it live, SmackDown and Raw and NXT live every week, because in their contracts with USA Network and Fox for SmackDown, they're only allotted a certain amount of taped shows per year, and it's not a large number. It's like fucking 9 or something, or less, even less. So,
yeah, so they're afraid they're going to lose their contracts.
Well, yeah, if they did that, they'd be in breach of their contracts. You know?
And that's how they make all their money at this point. Is their TV contracts.
Oh, yeah.
If they lose those, they're fucked. So, as of today, PW Insider announced, and actually all the wrestlers have announced, everybody's announced, WWE did major firings and layoffs and furlough.
And AJ Capone just mentioned, and I forgot about this, XFL fired everyone and filed for bankruptcy, and they're almost certainly not coming back for another season.
They're definitely not. So XFL, to talk about that, XFL was actually going to come back next year. They had decent numbers. People were watching them. People were attending it. It was growing. But like any other business, you lose money in the first year. They were going to lose. But they were bound to make money by like year 2 or 3.
Yeah,
they were doing all right.
Yeah.
But this just bad timing. So they're definitely just done. So.
Yeah. So wait, how many people did WWE fire and who?
Okay, so they fired, as of today, Wednesday, April 14th. Is that today's date? Who knows what day it is anymore? April 15th. According to PW Insider, so far, the latest names have been furloughed by these are furloughed. So basically you're like out of work, but like still there.
They'll bring you back when they can kind of thing.
Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Sean Devari, Scott Armstrong, and Sarah Stock. They were all producers.
Okay.
All right. These are the list of names that.
Oh, we know we know Billy Kidman.
Oh yeah. These are the names that are a list of today's releases. So these are fired. You're fired. Maria Kanellis, Mike Kanellis, Rowan, Sarah Logan.
Whoa!
This what?
I didn't know this. I haven't heard any of this.
Wait, dude. Wait.
This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Senior referee Mike Chioda.
No.
Dude, so they're basically firing anybody that has a large contract or like does not do anything on the show because they're going to run with the skeleton crew. You know, they probably had to do this because of their fucking deal with the government or something. So, Sarah now, mind you, some of these people might get their jobs back. So referee Mike Chioda, Primo and Epico, who nobody knew that they were still there anyway. Again, sorry, I'm going to announce these names again. Some of them are repeats. Billy Kidman, Pat Buck, Sean Devari, Scott Armstrong, Sarah Stock. Those are all producers. Heath Slater. Man's got kids.
Oh, man, he's got kids.
Kurt Angle, Shane Helms, Fit Finley, Lance Storm, and Mike Rotunda, a.k.a. IRS. Finley had been a producer with them forever. Okay.
They fired Bray Wyatt's dad.
Aiden English is gone, who I didn't even know he was still there.
He was doing commentary for 205 Live.
Eric Young is gone. Drake Maverick is gone. Kurt Hawkins is gone once again. Carl Anderson is gone. Luke Gallows is gone.
Oh, my God.
EC3 is gone, and Leo Rush is gone.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so originally today, it was only like 10 of those names were announced, and then they just keep adding names. So probably by the time we finish the podcast, there'll be more.
Let me look up. I'll look it up right now.
I mean, this is updated as of like 20 minutes ago.
Okay. The announces No Way Jose.
Yeah? Okay.
3:36 p.m. Oh, we got more. We got more, dude.
Really?
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, this is like breaking news.
Oh, no. That's pretty much all the shit. Leo Rush, Primo. It's all the stuff you just said. I guess No Way Jose. I'm just giving. Zack Ryder. Did you mention Zack Ryder?
I did not mention Zack Ryder.
Okay, so Zack Ryder and No Way Jose.
I mean, everybody else is out of work too, so I get it. But like,
I mean, it is.
I don't know if they might not bring all these people back. They might realize they don't need to have such a big roster.
Well, how many of these people do you think are going to be like and wind up in AEW? Like I could see
not a lot.
Not a lot, but I could see them picking up Gallows and Anderson because of their history with the.
Why would you pick up anybody right now? Like, what's the point?
True, but down the line, I'm saying down the line.
It's the same reason of like, I mean, all these people were probably told down the line you can come back, maybe.
Jesus Christ, man! But how many people do you think that actually want to come back and not go to AEW? You know what I mean? A lot of people in WWE wanted out of their contracts anyway.
There's also people who don't want to be there because they want to be on lockdown. Like I can see Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins is from Long Island. Right now, Long Island is fucking like a hot zone for this virus right now. Mm-hmm. So he's probably living here.
Yeah,
maybe.
They can't.
I think he lives here.
Yeah.
Or his family's here. And he might just want to be on lockdown. Like he might not want to go work all the time. Mm-hmm. You know?
No, that's fair. You know, you can't.
You don't know a lot of these people's positions. Some of these people might have just. I mean, some of them you could tell. Like Leo Rush was working for a cruiserweight title.
All right.
Like they're doing the cruiserweight tournament, which is basically set up kind of like the G1 tournament in New Japan.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. I wonder if these are people who are just there taking up space or just
fucking
like Mike Chioda. Mike Chioda.
It's probably his. I think you're right. Well, you said about the big contract because he's been there for decades. So that guy definitely was making a lot of money. But like somebody like Sarah Logan and both Sarah Logan and No Way Jose both just jobbed for people on Raw. Fucking Sarah Logan jobbed for fucking.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I wonder if she showed up and she was just like, I don't want to do this, and they were like, all right, like.
Well, dude. She fucking listen to what happened on Raw. She wrestled Shayna Baszler, and it was a squash. You know what I mean? And what they did is,
her husband is there though. Her husband is there.
You know how Shayna Baszler does the arm stomp? She sets your arm like that, and she steps on your arm, right? So she did that to Sarah Logan, but they called the match after it. You know what I mean? To make it look like it was so like she fucking broke her arm, and Sarah Logan was literally crying. Like she was doing one of the best sell jobs I've ever fucking seen, though. Like she really had me. I mean, I know obviously she didn't break her fucking arm, but the way she was crying, like I felt fucking bad watching it, and I was like, "Wow, Shayna, you fucking monster." You know what I mean?
Right.
She did a really good job. And so I was like, oh man, fired her ass. Wow. And the same thing with No Way Jose. I think he jobbed to.
But Sarah Logan's husband is there still. So maybe they kept him on.
Who's her husband?
Eric or Ivar. Not Warbeard. The other one.
Yeah, well, he's got a championship belt. So. Oh, no. They don't. The Street Profits are champions. Anyway. That's crazy, dude. I did not know that. I did not check the news like this morning or anything. Holy shit.
Yeah, someone just texted me. He goes, Leo Rush looked like he was getting a second life there.
He was on the come up, that's for sure.
But I also think he's probably a pain in the ass, so they're like, fuck it.
Could be. Unless he got in check a little bit, you know? I think he might have had a little bit of an ego thing going on in the past, you know what I mean? Anyway, I saw recently another thing I was watching this like yesterday. I saw it was an official on one of WWE's official YouTube channels. I don't remember which one it was. They have like a bunch of channels. But it was not their main channel, but it was an officially sanctioned WWE channel, and like Jason Jordan was in one of their videos, and I was like, Jason Jordan still works for WWE?
I saw him on I saw him on Edge's backstage thing.
Wow. Yeah,
like the Edge 24. Dude, that shit was great. Edge's comeback documentary.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half. It's like the best documentary they've done in a while.
Wow.
And they used good music in it, like they used real music.
Oh wow. The video I saw him in was it was just some weird video they made with like a bunch of wrestlers being interviewed about what kind of food they eat after matches. Like, what do you eat on the road after a match? And then out of nowhere, it was like Jason Jordan. And I was like, dude, when was your last match? In fucking 2017? Like,
okay, here we go. Here we go. Vince McMahon held a press conference earlier today, called with WWE employees and warned them that several changes coming to the company, including major talent and staff cuts. WWE have now released a press statement confirming the news. Here we go. Stamford, Connecticut. WWE, all right. Today provided an update. Due to the COVID-19, the current government mandated impacts on WWE and media business generally, the company went through an extensive evaluation of its operations over the past several weeks. This analysis resulted in the implementation of various short-term cost reductions and cash flow improvement actions, including reducing executive and board member compensation, decreasing operating expenses, cutting talent expenses, third-party staffing and consulting, deferring spend on the build-out of the company's new headquarters for at least 6 months because they were building a new headquarters in Stamford.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. They were going to keep the old building, though, too. Given the uncertainty of the situation, the company also identified headcount reductions and made the decision to furlough a portion of its workforce effective immediately. The decision to furlough versus permanently reduce headcount reflects the fact that the company currently believes that furlough will be temporary in nature. The company reductions of employees, compensation, and headcount result in an estimated monthly savings of $4 million, and along with cash flow improvement of $140 million, primarily from the deferral of spending on the company's new headquarters. Additionally, the company has substantial, which currently company's substantial financial resources, both available cash and debt capacity, which total approximately $0.5 billion to manage the challenges ahead. So the company will provide further details. So it sounds like some of these people might get their jobs back, kind of like the way all of us exist in the world right now.
Wow.
You might get your job back when this is all over.
Wow. That's, yeah, pretty much.
Holy shit, Marty Skrull cameos in the latest Being the
Yes,
Elite?
yes, and a few others, Yeah, BTE. Are we talking BTE? Can we move on from this WWE fuck shit? Can we talk about something happy and how good BTE has been the last couple of days?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
So BTE.
Well, you didn't even watch the matches.
I have been skimming through the matches, admittedly. So Being the Elite. If you don't know what Being the Elite is, you should. It's the Elite and their YouTube series from AEW. And so they're approaching episode 200, and so they've turned episode 199 into a 3-part episode, and maybe there's a 4th part coming. I don't know. I didn't know that it was going to be a 2-parter, but then all of a sudden it was like part 2, and then part 3, and is part 4 coming? I don't know. But I think that was it. I think the next episode will be next Monday, episode 200. But Being the Elite has been good these last couple of days, man. And entertaining to say the least. I loved the part 2 has been my favorite episode thus far.
It's been really fun. It's fun. I look forward to it every week. I always forget when certain things are on. I never forget when that's on. And it's like the only YouTube series I really watch.
Yeah.
Like religiously. So it's pretty good. I got nothing else for wrestling other than NXT last week was a big letdown with the Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa match.
I heard bad things about that.
It was like the Undertaker match, or mixed. It was like a cinematic match mixed in with like a last man standing match. It was really boring.
Nice.
I got nothing else, man. I have no comics.
I haven't been reading comics, dude. Not at all.
But what I do got is we were talking before the cast about having a rotating third chair.
Yes.
And maybe having a guest on for a segment or part of the episode or a whole episode.
If they want to stay.
Anybody who's basically somebody who's into one or some of the things we talk about on the cast, TV, video games, wrestling, movies, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And we can do, go ahead.
So because of that, like, I guess if you're listening to this on delay or if you're in the Twitch chat room right now, reach out to Dan either through Twitch or either of us on Twitter and Instagram at the RuduCast, Facebook at RuduCast. Just reach out to us if you want to be on the show for a segment.
Yeah.
Even if just for a little bit. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just zoom you in.
Zoom it on in, baby. I'm sure.
Zoom you in and you can be part of the show.
I'm sure I got some streamer friends that would love to come on and talk about their thing. And, that's what's kind of cool about it. We could do that as a kind of thing, too. It's like if you're going to come on our show, you give you a little, you say your piece.
Yeah. Come on, self-promote yourself, all that sort of stuff.
So, yeah, we definitely do it. It'll spice things up a little. And it doesn't have to be,
please do.
Obviously, we do this on Twitch live every week, but it doesn't have to be just streamers either. Like, there's, anybody else.
Yeah. Like anybody from a band listening or anybody who's a wrestler might be listening or anything. If you're just a person who likes, really passionate about Westworld or any of the things going on right now.
Exactly.
We'll have you on and
hit one of us up.
Yeah, and we'll just, it'll be chill. It'll be like the way we're doing things. It'll be like, how we do the show, and it'll be more fun. And like the same way that Dan, he's a Twitch streamer, and I play in a band. We promote our stuff. Which, by the way, I'm playing a couple sets coming up this weekend. Sunday, I'm playing like a festival online. I'm also going to be doing a duet thing with a member of the band OC45. We're going to be just playing Blink-182 songs.
Nice, dude.
So like, come on, the RuduCast. Talk about all the shit we talk about and then plug whatever you got going on. Or if you got nothing going on, plug your social, smash that like button. All those sort of things.
Yeah, dude.
But that's all I got, man. I'm out for the day.
That's all I got, dude.
I'm making meatloaf tonight, baby. It's Wednesday.
Baby. Oh, very nice.
Meatloaf.
Very nice.
All right, guys. Twitter and Instagram at the RuduCast, Facebook.com/RuduCast, I think.
Something like that. I think Facebook is...
Or maybe it's Twitter and Instagram at RuduCast.
Oh, Facebook.com/RuduCast. Twitter and Instagram at the RuduCast.
The RuduCast.
Yes, that's what it is. And that's it. Guys, remember, if you haven't joined us yet on Twitch, where we do this live every Wednesday, usually at 1 p.m. Sometimes when shit hits the fan, it's a little later, like today. But we'll always alert you on social media and tell you if it's going to be late.
I have an excuse for that. I was delivering coffee to the hospital.
That's fine.
I was bringing hospital workers things. It's more important than the RuduCast.
Yes, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can link your Amazon to your Twitch account to sub to the channel. You get a free Prime sub if you would like to watch the RuduCast live, ad-free. That's all from us. I'm Dan Marone, and this is Mike Terry. We'll catch you next week. Deuces and gooses.